all. Hi. So, first of all, I would like to appreciate, of course, Experior, Jimmy and Leanne, head office, and team legacy builders. They are the ones who put me here. It's all of their hard work. And of course, all the ELC along with all of you guys. So thank you very much for being here. My topic today is power of association. Lots of people, you guys have heard from lots of speakers that what is association, what is good. So I've been talking to myself for almost last 6 months that what was association, and I started reviewing my own journey. So this is a story of an immigrant who landed in 1995 with lots of dreams. If you look at his background, belongs to a simple farmer family, whose great-grandparents and grandparents, I heard from people, were extremely rich, but during partition, they lost it all. My grandfather lost almost 10 kids. They were murdered during partition. So I was left with 2 aunts and 2 uncles, or 1 uncle and my father. But I have never seen my grandfather and grandmother complaining. My grandfather lived till 95, but I have never seen him low. He restarted his life. And we didn't have a lot. We had lots of food, good environment, positive environment, but financially, when you start from scratch, of course you got to build it up. So fast forward, those days were over, but then when I was born, my parents had a dream. All the dreams they could not fulfill because of their partition. They were looking into me, that I'm going to be their rising star. And that is what my topic is, that what is association? You have heard this. If the sky is the limit, then go there. Then try it out. Don't hold yourself. And moving on to power of association, this is that immigrant who came in 1995, who was married to this beautiful Pam, you can call Paramjit, right? And I appreciate her decision to select me. And now, one thing though, I'm going to move on to next slide. When you grow up, who do you grow up with? Bunch of people, right? Who you are surrounded with? Your parents, your siblings, your friend circle. Now today's generation is a bit different because you can Google things. In my days, there was no Google. There was no internet, right? Especially in 1990s when I was in college. So when you live on a farmhouse, who talks about ambitions? Who talks about brands? Who talks about other things? Nobody, no one is talking to you. But one thing is that my parents put me into a private school because they had a dream, they had a hope on me. And guess what? I did not graduate. I dropped out. So what happens from there is, one good thing I can take from that is being surrounded with successful kids in my school, in a private school, gave me a vision. I was only the one who had lesser dresses, no pocket money, but all of my friends did. So I wanted to be like them. When I went to their houses, they all loved me. This is some of the pictures. I was very loved. Like in my circle, in my friend circle, I have relation with all of our schoolmates until today. They all love me until today. So what's that telling is that what you don't have is not an excuse. But then when I moved here, I had lots of dreams. The things I could not get in my childhood, I didn't want to hold my kids back. And that was my dream. That was the reason to come to Canada. So what happens when I landed in Canada? And this is the biggest factor I'm going to talk about, because this is where lots of people, when I talk to them or when I interview them, this is where they are stuck, which is called circumstances. So lots of speakers said, don't live in your past. Think about your future. Think about what is ahead, not what was in the past. So talking about association, there's a good quote here. Watch your surrounding and its impact on your subconscious mind. This is a serious warning if you can take something out of today's conversation. So I said I wanted to give everything that was available in this world to my kids. So these are my two beautiful kids, right? Son and daughter. I did everything. We have done multiple Disneyland trips, Hollywood, you name it, United States, wherever you need to travel, I took them. But not only I took them, I never saw them standing in a line, so I always went for the best package, most expensive package, so that my family does not stand in the queue. But I had to work hard for it. When I was working hard, I did every single effort that from what level to get to next level, how do I increase my income, how do I increase my income? See, someone talked about survival. When you are doing that, you never think of fortune. And I'm gonna fast forward and talk the difference between survival and fortune. So doing this, impact of surrounding. When I entered Canada in '95, it was a bad time in Alberta. I could not find very good jobs. My first job was doing dishwasher at Swiss Chalet. They gave me 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 days at $5 an hour. My son was born. 2 weeks later, I entered Canada. I had $20 and lost my wallet making a phone call on a payphone. Guess what I had? Nothing, except for dreams. Because of that restaurant, I got second job at Wendy's, making fries, cooking burgers. But you know, the funny part is, when you try to work hard, you will find lots of people who hate you. The reason I'm saying this, because I started making fries and burgers during rush hour, and my manager loved me. But all the co-workers hated me. And one day I heard this guy who was my fellow worker, he said, why this new immigrant is getting all the hours where you're cutting down hours? And I heard manager saying, because he can keep up the rush hour. We never wait on fries and burgers when he's cooking. And that wasn't my profession. My dream led to fight for it. And next thing is, you need to grow. And talking to people, my next job I found was in construction, because that would pay me a lot at that time. So when I entered construction industry, you guys have read that book, and I always talk about my mentor, Curtis. Amazing guy, self-made millionaire, and living a dream life, retired at age 50, semi-retired. Businessmen always semi-retired, they don't retire. So when I entered the construction industry, I had lots of hopes to provide better life for my family. But guess what? See, I talk about trade association. You got to watch your environment, who you're surrounded with. Good thing I did is, I never got stuck with a small community. All of my professions are with the mainstream. I was only the brown guy in 100 people. But guess what? They didn't like it either. Curtis wanted me to grow because he heard my story that why I'm in Canada. But my fellow workers, when I did try to do more, they started putting me down. Curry eater, go back to your country. All of those slogans started coming at me. See, I was fighting to provide something better for my family. I wasn't against them, but that is what you get from people. And if that can stop you, if you want to listen to no sayers, guess what? I won't be on the stage today. right? Next thing I want to say is, my journey continued. In 2000, okay, one thing here I want to add is, Curtis was only the guy who moved himself up to manager, but he always said one thing. See, when you have plans, when you have dreams, God will help you. I was no one, but I found this wonderful brother out of nowhere who was born in this country, and I am an immigrant, who believed in me. He said, in order to prove these people wrong, you got to learn every single equipment. And I told him, I said, Curtis, these guys don't let me touch anything. He said, come on Sundays. He showed me how to find the keys for equipment. He said, practice it. I started doing that. And later on, once I learned the equipments, now they hate me even more. Right? Now, what kind of language they use? Slur words. You know, I don't want to say on this stage because it's being recorded, the things I have gone through, the words I have heard from their mouth wasn't cool. And I said, maybe this industry is not for me. I moved up to project coordinator there, and that is what helped me. If you see lots of things, that's how I visualize year ahead, year and a half, 2 years ahead, that was from that factor, which that help came from Curtis. Again, mentor in life. Moving forward, influence and impact of people you are surrounded with. Write this down. All of my in-laws and relatives, they are blue-collar jobs, and lots of them drove taxi. Some of them said, oh, we make $400, $500. I said, working so many hard hours, I do only like $250, $300. I should try driving taxi. And when I drove taxi, guess what? Instead of $400, on my first day, I made only $50. My second day, my third day. But I wanted to beat them. And you know what? There was a day when I started making even $800, $900 a day. Just because I built references. I built references in rich areas where people would trust me. There were a few Christmas parties where rich people, after conversation, they took me to their houses because I told them this is what my dream is. One day I want to have a house like you. And they said, you want to come see it. And this is real. See, surrounding impact. That was inside me, but you cannot be a victim. You cannot play a victim role. You cannot say the rest of the world is bad because there's always someone good. There's always someone like Jamie waiting for you. Right? So you got to watch what any extra minute you have in your life, who you sit with, who you talk to. The next thing is deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Very, very important. Sometimes you have to decide what not to do. People will get mad at you, especially when you're building team. They'll hate you. But it's about them. Any decision I make is, anytime I fight with Jamie is for my team, never for me. Frank, you are the witness, right? Anytime I did anything is for my team, never for me. I never said, okay, bring me to ELC, otherwise I'm going to quit, right? Anything I did is for my team, and I'll continue to fight. The next thing is, society is like air, it's a necessity. I cannot live without rest of the people. But you got to watch. It's just insufficient to live on. You cannot just survive with air. You need many more things. Next thing, what I learned from trades association is be careful who and what you invest your time in. So lots of us, I have seen people still on social media where these people who are talking here have earned it. Connect with them. Try to understand what they are trying to say. And before I forget, I've been watching my entire hierarchy, and I found this gentleman who's a young kid, being on time, taking notes, learning a lot, asking me right questions, and I'm gonna reward him with $100 cash. That's Harman Dadra. Negative thinking limits our understanding. See, all successful people have negative thoughts too. Frank does, Moro does, Darren does, Jashan does, Vishal does. All of them do, but they learn how to control it. The next thing is professional association. During that time, because of Curtis, I was able to meet a number of people in my life. This is one of the bankers in Alberta. I had a chance to spend a day with them in their private jet. At the end of the day, she's the owner of that bank. I asked her, I said, "Why do you own an airplane?" We went to 4 different locations, and I cannot tell everything about that meeting. And she said, "Baljit, the reason we own an airplane, it's super expensive to carry it, but we can do multiple things," which taught me what is the importance of time. Time is very important. And you learn how to keep up with time, because time is something which will never come back to you. So moving forward, I always hated financial industry. But in 2015, someone recruited me, showing me a dream, and many of speakers said that, so I'm not going to repeat that. This is my first trip to Mexico, where I met Ed Milet. 1 day older than me, 300 million net worth that time. I said, "What is wrong with me?" He gave me some challenges, and I accepted them. But then on the journey, I was looking. See, in my journey, I told I like to move fast. And thanks to Zaki, he had someone contact me, but his conversation was so negative and so insulting, I ended up telling him, I said, "You call me one more time, I'm going to come to Regina and slap you." But you know one thing, winners focus on winning. I kept my relation with Jamie, and Jamie kept his relation with me. It took him 1.5 years, and one day I was frustrated. I called him. I said, "Jamie, when can I see you?" He said, "I'm in Calgary." That is when I met Jamie and Leanne, which Experior helped me to speed up my process. I learned a lot from my previous company. Kudos and thanks to them. But this vehicle is a super fast. It's a Ferrari that will help you to move fast. And this is our team now. We enjoy our life. This is Jamie and Leanne and our team at our house. My kids don't worry for money no more. We have a solid future with Experior, and with help of all of you guys, we'll continue to grow. And you know what? We are born to shine. And we can do it together. So with this, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jamie Prickett. I'm the CEO of Experior Financial Group. And if you like what you saw in that video, that was from our last convention. Well, this next convention coming up July 16th to the 18th of 2024 is going to be absolute fire. It's the Decade of Distinction. And if you haven't got tickets for it, click on the link below. Let's make it happen. We're going to change the world.